And then there's you. You who have made it a priority to be with us this morning. You who somewhere along the lines are catching the insight that you have emerged from an eternal presence as an endless wave of unfolding possibility. That when we hear that we were created, that's a linguistic convenience. Actually, we were never created. We've emerged from that which is eternal. In other words, who we really are has always existed as a divine spiritual idea held in the heart mind of the infinite, and that we are here to receive that mandate to allow that which we are as an infinite imprint from divine mind to continue to unfold, that the presence of God may come to know itself as each and every one of us in the infinite possibilities that lie within us. Catch what I just said. You are a field of infinite potential, infinite possibilities. And so you represent the presence of God as only you can, and with every moment of inspired wisdom, every moment of divine inspiration, every moment of you catching an insight into reality, that's the presence of God knowing itself distinctly as your life and the possibility that was residing within you all along. So you're not here trying to get anything. You're not here trying to get anywhere. Right here, right now, everything you can want and hope for and desire is already here. You've already arrived. What you're doing is not only unpacking what you are, you're eliminating the distractions that keep you from seeing who you are, thus coming out of the world of appearances, the downloading of limited perception, and coming into a bright, new, shining moment where you begin to realize that your destiny is bigger than any history. This is who you are. And so when you hear the theme of the month of a view from the top, you're coming to an understanding that there is a view that allows you to have a moment by moment, sometimes nanoseconds, sometimes longer period of time as we measure time, of that which is real, that which is eternal, that is not covered up by perception, not hindered by point of view, not hindered by limited positionalities. It's a view from the top of real seeing. You see, most people have the tendency of experiencing only their thinking about reality, only their thinking about God, they're thinking about love, they're thinking about peace, but they're not necessarily having a real encounter with the presence of God. They're just having an experience of their own thought forms, and they believe that that's reality. Now, it is a lesser expression of reality. It's called the world of appearances. And so individuals are creating their experience based on their thought form. But you've come to wake up, to have a view from the top, the mountaintop, that you may see the great presence, the great power, the great love, the great beauty, not with eyes, to hear the inspired wisdom, not with ears, to catch it as the activity of your awareness, and to live in that dynamic. And then the issue is exacerbated because you enter into a dynamic through oftentimes malicious hypnotism. That is the way that media rolls in our societies around the world, is that it foments a lot of fear and doubt and worry, things that go bump in the night, things to be overly concerned about. And so you end up in a dynamic of wanting or not wanting something. And interesting to note, by law, whatever it is you don't want in your life, you are in a relationship with it. So you end up misusing the law of creation, the law of manifestation, the law of mind in action, by being entangled with the very thing you don't want to happen. So here you are in this dynamic of the whole world taking a nightmare pill and being absolutely worried and fitful and concerned. And that becomes popular and normalized, the worry, the doubt, and the fear. And then people walk around thinking about what they don't want to experience. I don't want to be robbed. I don't want to lose anything. I don't want to be hurt. I don't want COVID. I don't want. And the moment they don't want it, they're in a relationship with it. It's malpractice. It's the misuse of the law. What you're seeking is a higher view. You're seeking to rise above the world of appearances and to see what really is, so that you're living above the firmament into the world that God sees that all is well. So that becomes the very activity of your awareness. And so when you hear, perhaps, Jesus the Christ saying in substance that in the world of appearances, there'll be trials and tribulations, but be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world. Be of good cheer is a spiritual practice, by the way. He's saying in substance, there's so many people just living in the world of appearances, and they think that's real. They think that's the way one is supposed to be. And then they absolutely prevent God. They stymie God from working in their life. They're in the world of appearances, and then they ask questions like, what's wrong? They ask questions like, who's to blame? They ask questions like, what should I do about it? They ask questions like, what am I feeling? How are you feeling? And generally, when people ask that question, they're talking about your emotional state. And all of those questions stop God from working in your life. Because the questions that you're asking are in the world of appearances. So individuals are on an endless loop of staying in an environment, emotionally, mentally, physically, etc., that they don't want to be in because they're asking the wrong questions. And they're concentrating on what they don't want in their life. Not you today. You're going to begin to ask what's real. You're going to be asked, just what's the meaning? What's the meaning of what appears to be? The meaning is a thought blueprint that becomes the manifestation of the issue. You see, take class. Come take a class a little bit. So here we are. There's a view from the top, and it's a long view at times. And then there's the world of appearances that people are in because they're not having a direct encounter with reality, only their thoughts about it. There's an overlay of perception that keeps them from reality, and then they get knotted up in what they don't want. And sometimes they don't want it so bad it becomes an emotional don't want. So now they're really in the dynamic of what they don't want. So what do they get? They get what they don't want. Because the law says, I'm going to give you what you're interested in. You don't want that? Here it is. You see. And so what are you doing? You're placing your attention, keeping your eyes single on the presence and the power and the love of God. You're opening yourself up to be able to see reality through your spiritual practice. You become keenly interested in love, keenly interested in beauty, keenly interested in health, keenly interested in prosperity, keenly interested in abundance, keenly interested in joy, keenly interested in your connection with the presence of God. And you begin to have pinprick moments of the view from the top. I was thinking earlier as Nelson Mandela came across my mind that I can remember meeting him in South Africa during a moment of the Parliament of World Religions where I had the privilege of giving him the Season for Nonviolence Award for the tremendous work that he did in rebuilding the country, South Africa. And I can remember when he came out to meet us, his timbre and his tenor was just so, he had a vibration emanating from him. And you could see that he was seeing. He would meet everyone, and he was seeing each person individually. He wasn't just seeing masses. He was with every person that he was speaking about. And after all those years in jail, 27 different jails, Robben Island being the most famous place that he was in. It was made famous by him being there, actually. He had a long view. He had a view from the top where he could see his nation rising up in the feeling tone of forgiveness, the feeling tone of making amends, the feeling tone of embracing each other, rather than the shame and blame and ultimate jailing of individuals, which was the only common if someone is oppressed for so long that they would want to give as good as one gets. He saw a view from the mountaintop. And in that viewpoint, the country was rebuilt on a very high dynamic, of which became a high watermark for the rest of the world to follow. Hasn't quite followed yet. Rwanda did a little bit. But he raised the bar of where we could grow because he had a view from the top. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, I had an opportunity to work with him about 3 or 4 times. in the synthesis dialogues with the Association for Global New Thought, representing that organization. And I can remember one time he came out and his opening remarks were, "My country is dying. It may not exist anymore after a while." That was his opening remarks. Then as we got into dialogue, what emerged from the dialogue was that Tibet had become a meta-Tibet. In other words, through the diminishment of Tibet by the Chinese government and his subsequent escape through the mountains, the Himalayan mountains into India, into Dharamsala, Tibet had become magnified. But before that happened, very few people knew about Tibetan Buddhism. Very people knew about His Holiness the Dalai Lama. But when the degradation began to happen, and the oppression began to happen, and that which we would call so negative, it created a meta-Tibet, a Tibet that was bigger than the physical location of Tibet. And as I have said over the years, the John Wayne swagger slowly transformed into the Dalai Lama smile. The word compassion, Heart Sutra, meditation, it became commonplace around the world. Not that Tibetan Buddhism was the only cure of meditation, but it became a part of our nomenclature, a part of our language, you see. He had a view from the top that allowed for, even though the diminishment and the oppression of Tibet, to become meta, worldwide, global, touching millions of people more than it had ever touched when it was untouched by the government of oppressive forces. He had a view from the top. You think about Mother Teresa, who toiled long hours, feeding people, clothing people, tired at times. And when asked what gave her the strength to keep doing this in moments of absolute, somewhat haggardness, just being tired. And she said, everyone I fed, I was feeding the Christ. That was what, she had a view from the top. I was feeding Christ. Every person that I saw that I was feeding, I wasn't feeding just throngs of people. Every mouth represented Christ to me. So she had this view from the top, you see. We are coming to an understanding in our spiritual practice that we're seeking to have this same viewpoint in our own individual lives, a higher point of view that transcends time and space, so that we're aware that the condensation of our thought forms, our particular points of view, our perceptions, the overlay of all that has happened to us, our interpretation of it, that condenses itself into experience, and then you add things that we don't want that condenses itself into experience, and that we learn to stop and understand that appearances disappear when there is no fear. That there is a moment in which you're not sublimating your fear, you're not trying to make it go away, but you're able to embrace the moment of fear, which is oftentimes the ego trying to keep you small, playing in your limited point of view, or it's anxiety and projecting a worst-case scenario onto the future. But to stop and embrace that fear, see the lie that is telling you underneath, and there's always a lie underneath the fear that you're not good enough, that you're going to die, you're going to lose, and we know at the meta level there's no death and there's no loss, and we learn to live at the meta even while we're in time, so that we carry the frequency of the upper room even when we have a body, so that we're not waiting to leave the body to live in heaven. That's the old theology that is being rolled up into scroll and put into museums now. We are aware what he said. The kingdom of heaven is at hand now. And so there is a view from the top. And your role, my role, our role, is to not ask so many questions that prevent God from operating, because this is the deal. When you start to have an upper room view, you become available to inspired wisdom. You become available to creative insight. You become available to that which is always happening. God is not an on and off God. It's not something you turn off and on, and one day God's God, and the next day God's not God. One day God's love, and the next day God's not love. No. God is God always. It's perpetual, it's perennial. The presence of God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and always being itself totally and completely without any contradiction of its nature, always. But when you are stuck in the world and you're saying, what's wrong, who's to blame, what am I going to do about it, then you are in that world of appearances, and you're preventing the presence from expressing through you more fully and completely. But when you ask, what's real? What is it that's really real? The overlay begins to dissolve, and you say, oh my God, I was in the matrix. Oh my God, I was caught. And what makes it easy to get caught is that fear and doubt and worry are popular and normal. I mean, you might probably read some of the articles that in Great Britain and America, they've hired the greatest behavior scientists to work with governments to infuse fear into the population, to get them more under control. And fear basically allows people to be more controlled and more docile. You see, these articles have been released about how they've spent millions of dollars to get you to be afraid, you see. But you have the presence of God with you. Fear not. It is God's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. So what do? Moment by moment by moment, you do two things. One, you see where you're operating from, what you don't want in your life. I don't want to be robbed. I don't want to get lost. I don't want this. I don't want that. You notice when your mind is in that endless loop. And you stop that. And you begin to become interested in the quality of being that you want to manifest. So instead of becoming overly interested in what you don't want, of which you will get on your media all the time, and it's popular and it's normal, you begin to become interested in something else. I'm interested in health. I'm interested in beauty. I'm interested in love. I'm interested in joy. And then you know what happens? You become a soulful artist for the Spirit of the living God, taking everything in your life, that which you call good, that which you call bad, as the magnificent ingredients to build a magnificent work of art. You've seen artists take pieces of garbage and stuff off the beach and in the streets and put it together, and people will say, oh my God, that's beautiful, that's wonderful. Where did you get that material? In the trash. But there are things about your life that you don't like, that you have forgotten, that the Spirit of the living God is always for itself, and you are an emanation of itself. The universe is always working on your own behalf. Everything is working together for your good. So all of the stuff that you don't like is actually that which is creating, condensing the carbon within you to become a diamond. And when you invite yourself to be available to the next stage of your own unfoldment, you become a soulful artist, taking every single thing and allow it to be built into a work of art for and as your life. The appearance world disappears when fear diminishes, when fear is not the ultimate place that you're living in, you see. But this is real work, because the normalization and the popularity, if you check out the different things that have become popular over the years, people will become afraid of certain things, and it becomes popular. Do you have this symptom? Do you have this symptom? Do you have this symptom? I think, oh no, I don't have this. I have the flu. Oh no, there's HIV. Oh no, there's this. It becomes popular, normalized. Be an oddball. Be an outlier. Don't get caught in the undertow of popularity and normalization of that which is fearful around the nation. Be like Jesus. Be like Nelson. Be like Mother Teresa. Be like His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Be like your grandmama that knew how to pray. Step out of it, you see. And you're thinking to yourself, oh, I'm just little old me. Well, Nelson was just little old Nelson. Mother Teresa was a little low. Mother Mary Teresa, she was a little low. Dalai Lama was a little low. You know, just imagine this for a moment. You know, when he was born, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, they would tell him on a regular basis that he was the incarnation of certain lineage of Dalai Lamas, that he carried the frequency of wisdom and knowledge and love. From the time he was a little boy, what was happening if somebody stood over your crib every single day and said, you carry the lineage of God. There's so much good within you. You have no idea how brilliant you are. Every single day, people tending to you every day, telling you how magnificent you are, how beautiful you are, how wonderful life is going to be as you're walking on the planet. What would happen? You'd be His Holiness. You'd be Her Holiness, whatever the case may be. Everybody was a little old something at some time. So don't be giving yourself an excuse, well, I'm just little old me. No, there is a view at the top. There's a view at the top of which you are to participate in. And as you participate in this view through spiritual practice, remember one of the main things about spiritual community is the encouragement for practice. There's inspiration, there's education, absolutely. There's community coming together, absolutely. But underlying all of that, underlying every single class, is an encouragement for spiritual practice. So that you don't fall prey to the angels of your lower nature, get caught up in the eddies of fear, doubt, and worry as a way of life, even though it's normalized at this particular time in human history, and you're an oddball if you're walking around feeling good about feeling good. In the world, there'll be trials and tribulations. There'll be the condensation of perceptions and thought forms. There'll be the malicious hypnotism to keep people in fear and doubt and worry. There'll be the amplification of that fear, doubt, and worry as people begin to not want certain things and put more attention on what they don't want than on what they're seeking to be interested in, because you get what you're interested in. But be of good cheer. Be of good cheer, because I have overcome the world. That's what he said, you see. You are here to overcome that world through the embracing, not trying to get rid of, embracing the fear until it transmutes itself into excitement, and then it transmutes itself into enthusiasm, and then you're walking in the world, but you're of the higher view, the long view. You're of that view. As a matter of fact, close your eyes in this moment. Come to a complete stop in this moment. And just notice all the things in your life that you don't want. Some of the things you've been seduced, intimidated, or provoked into not wanting. I was with some people in Costa Rica. They don't have a television. And so they were just living in grace. They weren't even concerned about anything. You know, taking care of their family, going to the beach, doing works of art. It's not that they were ignorant about world events, but they weren't carrying the frequency of some people that I see sometimes in the States that are so into what the next thing to be worried about. They would just enjoy. Their joy was inoculating themselves from the rest of the world consciousness. So I want you to think about yourself for a moment and think about what is it that keeps you in the dynamic of not wanting something. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be hurt. I don't want loss. I don't want to be sick. What is your thing that you don't want? How are you misusing the law? How are you staying in relationship with something that you really don't want to experience? This is all metaphysical law. This is not opinion. The law says, in substance, you will get what you want or don't want. It doesn't matter because it doesn't know don't. It only knows what you're interested in. So what is it you don't want right now? What have you been seduced into being afraid of? And without blame or shame on anyone, just notice it. Now change your point of view. What are you really interested in underneath that? Are you interested in peace? Are you interested in dynamic health? Are you interested in well-being? Are you interested in joy? Can you be interested in beauty? Can you be interested in abundance and harmonizing prosperity? Can you be interested in creativity? Can you? Will you? Now take an inhalation, suspend it, shift your attention from what you don't want to one pointed priority towards the Spirit. If thine eye is single, the body shall be full of light, meaning full of luminosity and insight. If the eye is single, now here's the deal. You have the capacity to participate in your own unfolding. You have the capacity to pull your attention away from the world of effects and the world of appearances. You have that as a capacity, but are you using that capacity? Are you exercising that capacity every single day? Or are you caught up in the dynamic of what you don't want? Eyes closed for a moment. Consider all that you don't want and what you're in relationship with vibrationally. And now shift your attention. What are you really interested in? You're interested in peace. If thine eye is single, peace. Our body is full of light. You're interested in love. The eye is single. The body is full of light. You're interested in real abundance. It transcends what's happening in the economic system. The eye is single. The body is full of light. You're interested in joy. Hold fast to this. You become a candidate for inspired wisdom. You come out of the valley of despair, the valley of separation, the valley of appearances. And your manipulation in the valley to make things better in the valley, to make things better in the world of appearances. No. You're coming up a little higher and seeing differently. You're interested in something else. And that interest is determining where your energy is flowing. So now, as a singular manifestation of a cosmic unfolding, a timeless, emerging being from eternity, you're walking in time, but you're bringing the eternal. You're not just a body. You are a frequency of the Most High. You have a body. And yes, you'll be a bit odd. You'll be an outlier. But you'd rather be an outlier than be a liar and argue for your own limitations. I'm not good enough. I'm less than. Stop it. Come up a little higher. 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 Come. What are you interested in for real? Not what you don't want. What are you interested in? So what I can see that in the world of appearances, people are trying to figure things out. What's wrong, who's to blame, who did it, why did they do it? That keeps you in that world. Overcoming that, you become interested in your spiritual mindedness and your connection. You see differently. I'm telling you, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And you'll be a stranger in a strange land. when everybody's going crazy with worry and fear. Not you. You've got spiritual practice. Not you. You've got the activity of the presence of God within you. So this isn't about memorization or a belief system. It's about practicing on a regular basis so you actually have an insight called inspired wisdom. Oh my God, I'm safe. Oh my God, everything is working together for my good. Oh my God, life is for me, for real. Oh my God. Then you're able to see the appearance world, but it's not touching you. You're literally walking in the 91st Psalm consciousness. With your eyes, you shall see the law operating, but it shall not come nigh your dwelling place. Because you're making the Most High your habitation. Peace, be still. For such a time as this. For such a time as this. And this is a great moment. This is a great moment of great awakening. Great moment of great awakening. Great moment of great awakening. View from the top allows you to see it. Come up a little higher. Come on. Come on. Come on. And then you know what occurs? As Ebony Faye was singing, you dance. Not the Raj, God is dancer. You celebrate. It's not frivolous. Because you've come to realize that a dimension of your higher purpose is to reflect joy for no other reason that you exist. Now you're coming into the same frequency that the presence of God has when the presence of God birthed. Everything emerged from the presence of God from a fit of ecstasy and bliss and fulfillment, not from a sense of loneliness. And oh my God, I'm with people. No. I exist. I am joy. I am an overflow. Let there be. You get to create the same way. Come to a sense of joy for no other reason that you exist, and then say, let there be light in my life. You don't have to ask how. Let there be beauty in my life. Let there be abundance pouring forth in my life. Let there be creative opportunities in my life. Let there be great possibilities emerging. Let there be joy. Let there be. Let there be. Let there be. Let there be. Let it be. Whew. There will be a vibrational match. Heaven will come to earth through you. You're not going to heaven. You're bringing it. Once again, inhale, sustain, jettison what you don't want, become interested in something else. Remember, health is defined as being spiritually minded. Healing is defined as the elimination of distractions to your health. So you have that upper room consciousness, and then you eliminate the distractions every single day. Oh, there's fear. There's what I don't want. Oh, there's fear. There's what I don't want. Let me clear that out. My eye is single. Presence. 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 my destiny way bigger than my history. And when you come to that, I'm going to stop, okay? But I just want to say, when you come to that awareness, you'll realize that oftentimes you're just projecting your history onto present moment. It's creating a loop of you being in the world of appearances. But your destiny is magnificent. It's a beautiful destiny. It's the presence of God unfolding. It's beyond your imagination. It's bigger than your history. But you have to be interested in those spiritual qualities, those non-dual realities. So it swallows up your history, uses it as ingredients and fabrics for the art of your life. And you will stand and have the power of seeing a new world like Nelson. The power of taking something that's diminished and have a whole meta understanding of it like His Holiness the Dalai Lama. The power of seeing the Christ in folks. Mother Teresa. And then you'll dance. Let's watch this person. Let's watch this person. Rena Hoffman is bringing it to us today. Uh-oh. I can hear a little bit of that. Here comes bad news talking this and that. That's Rena Hoffman. Rock it, Rena. Made with love. Leave sparkles wherever you go. Come on now. Give her some love online. Give her some love online. Give her some love. Now it's your turn to dance a little bit. You're setting yourself free. You're releasing some endorphins. You're releasing some tonic chemicals. You're amplifying your immune system. You're slowing down your aging process. You're allowing the body temple to be the fit instrumentality through which more love may pour forth through. All of that when you move. So stand up as we begin to rock. Uh-oh. It's talking about you being a shining star. That's what you are.
When you wish upon a star, your dreams will take you very far, yeah.
Get on up there in your room. Get on
when
up.
When you wish upon a dream, life ain't always what it seems, oh yeah. What you see all night so clear, in the sky so very near, yeah. Love a shining star, no matter who you are, shining bright to see what you can truly be.
Victor Dickerson, come on out.
Shining twice the light on you, your victor. Give you strength to carry on, yeah. Make your body big and strong, oh yeah, oh yeah. Born a man, child of the sun, yeah. I saw my work had just begun. Found I had to stand alone, yeah. Listen, now I got my own, oh yeah, oh yeah.
So if you find yourself in need, why don't you listen to these
yes I can.
Oh, yeah.
You're a shining star, no matter who you are, shining bright to see what you can truly be. You're a shining star, no matter who you are, shining bright to see what you can truly be. You're a shining star, no matter who you are, shining bright to see what you can truly be. You're a shining star, no matter who you are, shining bright to see what you can truly be. Shining star for you to see what your life can truly be. Shining star for you to see what your life can
Bring him to
truly
life,
be.
Victor.
Shining star for you to see
Just don't
what
hurt
your
him.
life can truly be. Shining star for you to see what your life can truly be.
God is good. That's what he's saying under the mask. God is good. Come
You're a
on.
shining star,
It's on you.
no matter who you are.
We are the way. The
Shining
stars are
bright
looking
to
back at
see
themselves.
what you can truly be. You're a shining star, no matter who you are. Shining bright to see what you can truly be.
You got it? It's time to celebrate. Every single day, find something to celebrate. Come to the higher point of you and watch your life change from glory to greater glory. Watch it. Let's turn within in this moment. Using that dance as spiritual practice to allow for us to come into a deeper place of stillness. Oh, we take our attention. We can govern our attention, you know. And we're going to remove our attention from the external world, the appearance of the external world. It's called extrospection. And we're going to turn within to introspection. And begin to notice as you look within yourself, you see thoughts and moods and emotions and feelings and opinions and points of view. You can introspect. You can see all that passing through your awareness. And you know what? None of that is you. It's just something that's passing through. You are the awareness watching it. So you get to choose right now. Choose ye this day whom you shall serve, God or mammon. God or fear, God or worry, God or doubt, God or unforgiveness, God or resentment. Choose right now. When I say God, we're not talking about a man in the sky. We're talking about a presence that's never in absence. Choose ye this day. Keep that eye single. And begin to embrace your built-in intentionality to become a greater expression of life. Everything has a built-in intentionality. The flowers have an intentionality to reveal the glory of God through its unfolding flowers. The trees have a built-in intentionality to glorify God with its stature and its strength. You have a built-in intentionality to reflect and reveal the love and the joy of God simply because you exist. Let's embrace that intentionality. And in this moment of pure intentionality, we go from extrospection to introspection, from introspection to transpection. Where we go beyond inner and outer to seeing without eyes the invisible presence that's everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Our life is divine. And it is from this awareness of having a pure recognition of life. Oh, life, life, life. life from the view from the top, the mountaintop, not the valley of despair, not the valley of separation. Oh my God, we see. And this pure recognition allows us to leap into the awareness that, oh my God, my life is divine. My life is divine. My life is divine. I've emerged from the eternal. I surrender all that my life may emerge from chaos to order. And the word is spoken. Let there be freedom. Let there be liberation. Let there be joy. Let there be abundance. Let there be prosperity. Let there be health and vitality and vigor. Let there be flexibility. Let there be wisdom, inspired wisdom flowing through us right now. Let there be. Our destiny is way bigger than our history. Let there be. Oh, feel it. Let yourself feel it. Oh, every organ, action, and function of your body is now coming into harmony with the celestial body. The mental body is coming into harmony with divine mind, and there's clarity here. And the emotional body is coming into harmony with your divine heart, and there's love here, and there's beauty. Oh my God. We're not going to sully our life with judgment. Our eye is single. Our body is full of light. Our eye is single. Our body is full of light, luminosity, and insight. Come on. Come on. Marianne, give them a strong feeling tone.
There comes a day, there comes a time to leave your pain behind. There comes a moment when you say, I guess I'm okay. There is a life calling you. Just look inside and find what you must do. I realize I'm not my past. I'm surrendered at last. Come before the altar and sacrifice your fears. Just leave them on the table for the one who's always nearer than your hands and feet. Your breathing, it carries you, works for you. She loves you no matter who you are or what you've done or how far you seem to be from the love that sets your spirit free. We're in the age where we know the future, it's right now. Yes, this is the day, this is the time to recognize your world is so divine. You're the present of your past, surrendered at last.
Oh, we're not waving any white flags here today. We're not giving up. This is not the kind of surrender that you learn about through military actions. This is the surrender that happens when an avocado seed grows roots and shoots to become an avocado tree. It's surrendering to the next stage of its unfoldment. This is the kind of surrender that happens when a caterpillar becomes a butterfly. This is what happens when you surrender. Your destiny is bigger than your history. You're becoming more yourself. It's a surrender to your greater yet to be. It's a deep and an abiding sweet release. You're not giving up. You're giving in to greatness that's within you. You're giving over to something that's beyond your imagination. You're turning yourself over to the great wisdom and the great love and the great beauty and the great abundance and say, here am I. Shine through me. Come on. We love the word surrender. We love the sweet release of it. We love the letting go. We love the allowing. Come on. Woo. Nothing can turn you around. You're unconcerned anymore about what you don't want. Your attention is on high. You're not concerned about what they are saying about you. Your only concern is what is God's thought of you. God made no mistake about you. Come on up a little higher. Come on up a little higher. Come on. Come on, let yourself go. Woo. Surrender. 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 Oh my God.